So things continue to really just go horribly wrong for Facebook. We talked yesterday about the Monday outage of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. We talked about the Sunday unveiling of who is this whistleblower that released thousands of documents about internal Facebook documents about Facebook knows about the harm that's caused to different people by its platforms. Frances Haugen, the name of the whistleblower. And I played yesterday for you an interview with one Facebook executive on NPR, and it was just terrible. Just the guy seemed shaken by the obvious questions, unable to answer in a coherent way. Yesterday, we had testimony from the whistleblower, Frances Haugen. And then afterwards, we had a very unusual interview with Facebook's vice president for content policy, Monica Bickert, on CNN, where, again, I don't know if these interviews go horribly wrong because the people are unprepared or because the facts simply aren't on their side. And there's really no way to come off looking even remotely coherent and sensible. So first, let's start with a CNN article just quickly outlining the takeaways from yesterday's testimony by the Facebook whistleblower. Frances Haugen yesterday testified before a Senate subcommittee. The big takeaways, okay? Facebook's mechanics further the spread of misinformation. One big takeaway. Second takeaway, Facebook has taken limited action to address existing misinformation. We really knew this, but again, further confirmed. Facebook has misled the public about the negative effects of its platforms on children and teens, especially young girls, despite public statements from Mark Zuckerberg and others saying it's pretty good. In short, internal documents show they know about the negative effects, and Facebook knows its platform enables human exploitation. So let's get to this interview that took place. This is an interview with Monica Bickert, VP for Content Policy on Facebook, and it's very similar to the one yesterday that I played for you from NPR. Here we have video, and it's deflections and just kind of like strange, not very credible denials.
Is a current Facebook executive. Monica Bickert is a vice president for content policy at Facebook. Ms. Bickert, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I know you just heard that report, and so I want to get your take on what Frances Haugen has said. Is it true that Facebook uses these algorithms that push inflammatory content because that drives more clicks and engagement?
It is not true. And I want to say, I think there have been a lot of mischaracterizations today about what those stolen documents say and about the work that we are doing to keep Facebook safe.
But just so I'm clear, I just want to be clear.
This is a key interjection. What specifically are you denying?
You do not use, you're saying, what part is not true? You don't push out inflammatory, controversial content because you know that heightens engagement?
We do the opposite, in fact.
Now that's just, now it's where it gets silly. You push out non-engaging content? Come on. It now gets, I think a better way to answer this would be to say, unfortunately, in our world, the most salacious news is more likely to be shared by users. This is human nature. It's not unique to Facebook. I sound like a flunky now for, a PR person for these companies. This is not unique to Facebook. We can't control the fact that a lot of the stuff that's most salacious that people want to share is fake news and disinformation. What we can do, however, is have an algorithm that will, number one, label it as such, and number two, not priority. Okay, but no, we do the opposite. What? You push out stuff people don't find interesting? Come on.
If you look in our Transparency Center, you can actually see that we demote, meaning we reduce the visibility of engagement bait, clickbait. And why would we do that? One big reason is because for the long-term health of our services, we want people to have a good experience. We want them to want to continue to come back to these sites and connect with the people they care about.
What gets people coming back to the site is that it's a source of titillating, rage-inducing, fear-inducing material. That's what keeps people coming back. It would be Facebook doesn't think, if we keep doing this for 100 years, then no, it doesn't work that way.
For years to come.
Hold on, I have a question about that. Do you deny that teenage girls are not having a good experience on Instagram?
The majority of young people on Instagram are having a good experience, and that is borne out by the documents that were stolen, including the Instagram youth survey of about 40 Instagram users.
Guys, 40 users, 40 on a platform that has hundreds of millions. Are there billions of people on Instagram?
These were teens who were already struggling with mental health issues. And on all of the issues, the majority of boys and girls said that Instagram either makes things better or doesn't have a material impact on their experience. Now, look,
so hold on. I just want to be clear. Hold on, just one thing. I've let you say your piece. You're saying that you do not have internal research that shows that depression and suicidal thoughts go up for teenage girls, as do thoughts of eating disorders.
I'm saying that for the majority of teens on...
That's really slippery. The question is, do you have internal data that says it's hurting young kids, including girls? What Monica Bickert says is, we have one survey that says it's not hurting them, and it's based on 40 people. Because what's the truth? The truth is they have this 40-person survey that they're pointing to, and then they have all of the other data that is exactly what Frances Haugen said. But she's not talking about that. It's not a denial. It's just we also have this 40-person survey that's fine.
Instagram and the survey that the stolen survey that was shared in the testimony shows that the majority of teens, this was a very small survey, this is not peer-reviewed research,
right?
But that survey has been mischaracterized significantly because what it actually says, and we've published it, and people can go look at it for themselves, on the 12 issues for these teens who were already struggling with mental health issues, Instagram, the majority of them said, Instagram either makes things better or it doesn't have a material impact.
So again, now we're multiple minutes into a 40-person survey, which is the only one she wants to talk about.
The minority. How about the minority, the 13% that said that it increased suicidal thoughts?
It's important for me to say that I spent my career as a criminal prosecutor and worked a lot on child safety. So even one teenager having a bad experience on Instagram.
So that's like sort of an appeal to authority fallacy in a sense, kind of genetic fallacy. That may have been what she was doing in her previous role. That's not what she's doing now.
Is too many. And I can tell you that the hundreds of people at Facebook who actually do work on child safety, this former employee did not, but those who do work on child safety and work with dozens of external academics and child safety experts, this is our top priority. And
yes.
Not only
who would possibly believe that? So there's a few more minutes to this interview. I encourage you to check it out. In a sense, it's genuinely surprising how poorly prepared these Facebook folks seem to be. At the same time, maybe this is prepared as you can be, but the facts aren't on your side. And that's fundamentally what the problem is here. So let me know your thoughts. I know Facebook has to do something. They're sort of, these folks are in a sense in an impossible position because they have to defend the indefensible. But this is not, I don't believe this issue is going away anytime soon. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pacman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. It takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft. And it's free. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pacman.